Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you want to make bread, it's exactly the right time. First of all, make sure that you've got enough water in yourself so as your brain works properly. Because you've got to have the oven on. And if you've got a chilly house, it's excellent. You can just have it on a peep. And that's where we're going to have the bread proving or rising for about an hour on top of the oven, and that heat will, in that concentrated area, will ensure, if you're not living in a warm country, that you've got a nice warm place for your tins to sit. So the oven is on and we're going to make bread. So first of all, prepare your tins. Now, the old-fashioned way is to have some grease-proof paper from your butter that you've bought, and you keep the papers after you've taken the butter out, and you've got a wee knob of butter in there, and round the sides and in the crease, so as it doesn't sink into the crease and not come out your tin. These are my lovely £1 tin that I've just invested in, because the other ones are a bit rusty and ancient. They were about 30 years old and well used. So there we have our tins ready for putting our bread mix in. So we've got our oven on at a peep. Essential, because I can't keep things in the bowl like water or flour or anything. So the other utensils that we need are a bowl that is big enough, you know, to mix quite a lot of bread mix. I use 3 utensils. First, my tablespoon for measuring out the flour, and this wonderful spoon with a hole in it to mix up my dough, and then the spatula to clean out my bowl and get all the dough into the pan. So we're going to make a pan loaf from malt house flour. I like organic everything if I can get it, and I do try to get it. So I buy in bulk, and it comes in this sack, and I keep it in another airtight plastic, or it could be an airtight tin. Sea salt from harvested by hand from the Atlantic shores of Portugal, and uses the same technique that the Romans used there centuries before. And there's a picture of the chap, the Portuguese person, Pessoa, who has collected this salt. Thanks very much. Muito bem, senor. Organically approved. So I do like to take things from countries that I have an affiliation with. So this is Scottish malt house, which means you've got added grains and added malt, and it's a really rich, medium dark. It's not as dark as rye, and it's not a white bread, and it's not a stone ground, which is a light brown, whole brown. And then, so your ingredients today are just the flour, the salt, and the dried yeast. Now, this says Alison's active dried yeast, but in fact it's Dove's. But the tin is awfully handy. The other main ingredient is water. So you need your measuring bowl. Now, I do measure the water, but very roughly. I like a softer bread, so that means, you know, enough water in it. The temperature of the water is very important. I used to make it quite warm, but it kills off the yeast if it's too warm. So in Portugal, it would just need to be cold, but here it's off cold. So I'm just going to run the tap to the right temperature and maybe add a little bit of cold. Yeah, that's about right. A wee bit warmer, but certainly not warm. Off cold, you might say. Now that's a full jug full, which is a pint, but we'll need more than that. I can't say that it would be 2 pints, but it would be certainly 1.5 pints. So you have it ready for your first pint, and then take some more internally. And I like to drink my water warm, so as it's not a shock to the internal organs. It's just all the same temperature. So here we have apples from my friend Morag's garden that I'm going to try and make mincemeat with. Bread I can make. Scones are okay. Mincemeat, well, we'll give it a go. Because I bought Sarah from Sarah Brown's vegetarian cookbook, which I used to have years ago. And anyway, I never did have it in the hardback. I got it, of course, on the internet. So basically what I do is I measure out 20 heaps. 2, 3. Right, I'm coming to the bottom of this bag, so I'm just going to tear it open. Okay, that's easier. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now there's just a little left in the bottom of this sack, which will not make another 20, or maybe about 5 spoonfuls, which I might add to other flours, you know, like the stone ground, and just have a very lightly touched loaf with the malt house. So we'll just keep that malt house for another day. Now we've got quite a lot of flour in here, as you can see. So 20. I put in, well, they were definitely all heaped. So I put in a teaspoonful, 1, another teaspoonful, 2, and maybe a dash more, because there's quite a lot there. 2 dashes. That's actually, I think, maybe 2.5 teaspoonfuls for the amount of flour I've got in there. Look on the tin if you want to be sure. Now, the Portuguese pack this really nicely. You can either have a nice spray of salt, that's for when you're using it on the table, or a big hole to come out for, again, just about the same. 1, 2, 3. Depends, 2.5. The same for both of them. Now, thank you spoon had your uses. We now take this wonderful thing and we mix that through your yeast and your salt through your flour. And imagine every grain, a bit like Local Hero, you know, when the actor Fulton Mackay was asked by the young American when he wanted to buy the beach, and the young American over from Houston, Texas had said, how much would you sell the beach for? He said, oh, well, a handful of sand, if you like. And of course, would that be £1 million then? And I can't remember how many grains of sand he said there was in a handful. But you want to mix it all up. So what we have in here, all these lumpy bits are, you know, different grains and the malt. And I don't know, in fact, entirely what's in a malt house, but it's lovely. So all your different flours, I would basically just do exactly the same. If it was pure white, well, not or unbleached white or stone ground, it's always the same. So I've got my tins ready at my side. I've got my salt in and I've got my yeast in, and now we come to the water. So none of this just bits and bobs, just pour it all in. Probably need more water, but then stir it round. Now, a trick I found with that Alice Bain, actually, in Bonington, she had this really low little stool height table at the side of her main table. She had it built that way when she had the island in her kitchen built. You see, now we've got that water in, but you can see it's not enough. So make sure you do your mixing. Oh, too warm. Yeah, oh, too warm, more cold. Oh, definitely too warm, more cold. Yeah, that'll do. So I'll put in half again. Make sure that you just get it all around the sides and round the bottom. And we've already got the mixture becoming a dough. So this table is slightly too high for me, because you want your arms straight and your backs straight. See how my arms are bent. So if you have a stool the right height, place your bowl on the right height for you. Now it's becoming quite, you know, stiff. Now I hope you realise I'm going to tell you how to cheat now. I don't do any kneading. This is it. This is all I do. I've made sure that my yeast was dispersed well, and the salt, and now I'm ensuring that the flour at the bottom of this bowl, great implement, this thing with a hole in it. Now it's isn't it? Ugh. It's not going to sit, and you're not going to pick that up with your hands. No. Can't be bothered with all of that. So get a tin. Now we've got 3 tins. This is a cake tin, I think 8 inches. That's £1, and another one. Right. So we're going to fill these. So therefore half of the mixture will go in this tin, and a quarter and a quarter. So you kind of have to just judge it going in. This is the way I make bread. Right, so that's it going in. Oh, I think it wants a wee bit more. I think I could have done with a wee bit more water in this, but we'll see. Anyway, get that one out of the way and get half again. So half of your mixture goes in the big tin and half goes in your smaller tin. Oh, see, I've got some on the table. Oh. And then half again. Actually, I don't think I put enough in the big tin. It does rise up, and so you want to be slightly different amounts there. Now back to the big tin and get the remainder in it. Now all of this we don't want to waste, so we get out the wonderful spatula that is usually made for cakes. At least that's what our mother used to do. And get your mixture off your spatula, your kneading spatula, and get it out of your... See, the other spatula doesn't bend to do this, because that other spatula with a hole in it, which is for kneading bread, is quite hard. It's stiff. Right, okay, get that in there. Don't be tempted to scrape off onto the edge of your pan, because that's where the bread will be. It won't come off because it's glutinous. Now, of course, you can get gluten-free flour, so that's reasonable. That's a reasonably semi-clean thing. So, get that into water immediately, and all your washing up will be done for you before you've even begun. Which is a great thing. Wash up as you go along, and because you don't want that to go in your dishwasher, all that flour and water. You don't want to clog it up. So that's vaguely rinsed, and now what do we do? So we've got it's sitting irregularly in a lump. That's fine. It will spread out of its own volition. So I'm going to put it on the counter on top of the oven. You know, perhaps you know that you put a wet cloth over that. You know, oh, I don't do that. I've got my nice little shortbread tin, which has a wee sliding thing goes round. So that is the lid for my 8-inch there. And then if I had a rectangular tin tray, I would be able to put a rectangular, but I don't. I bought these in the jumbo in 1993 pizza things. So that's it. That's all you do. Now I'm just going to transfer that lot onto the top of the oven. That's it. 1:20, give it an hour, come back, pop up your I'm just going to wipe up this dough that's sitting here. Pop up your oven temperature. It has to be hot. Mine is gas oven, which is 9. It's the hottest. Now I do it at 8 for half an hour. So whatever that is, just down 1 notch from your hottest oven for half an hour at the top of the oven. And if you can get them all side by side, that's why I like these 3, because I can get them all side by side. And when they come out, again, they just sit on the wire tray, and then I cover them with oh, that was me opening the drawer. Sorry, film. I cover the bread with a wee cloth, and they're ready to eat, you know, in an hour after that. You can cut it hot, but it'll all break up. And so what I do, once the bread is ready, I slice it and freeze it and put it into little compartments, enough for a day, in the freezer or into bags, freezer bags, and I reuse them constantly and wash them, and so all my plastics are reused, and you know, so that's it. So it's 1:30. There'll be a second little video to show you, and that's it. Bread making a la Caroline. Love you.